focusing on the football side of it for a little bit. You talked about the bonus practices. You talked about kind of getting back to the detail oriented function of practice. What is the what do you think for this team specifically is the maybe a couple of keys that you're going to focus on, or you would if you were on the coaching staff focus on for this bye week coming up?
If I'm the defense, it's tackling is number one. We gotta stop throwing the shoulders. We gotta wrap up. So I think the cool thing about bye week and even like the beginning of training camp, like those practices, like all the drills and everything is so broken down, like all the way stripped down to the basics. Like you can have practices like that or have periods during bye week where you kind of get back to that and you're stripping things back down to a base level, relearning, reestablishing, okay, this is how we do things, this is how we tackle, this is how we wrap up. It's your time to be able to slow things down. Because once you get out of training camp and you're into the week's preparation, like you may have a period or two before you get into scheme install and get into running plays against, Bowling Green's look or Kent State's looks or whatever you're going to get and stuff like that. But that's it. You're only going to have one or two periods. After that, it's like, okay, Wednesday, you're doing first down, second down, run, pass game. Okay, after that, transition to third down. All right, now 7-on-7, now team. Like there's not a lot of time to be doing simple turnover drills or do a ton of special teams drills where you're breaking down how to do things, where you're breaking down alignment and assignment and things of that nature. There's not a whole lot of time for that because by then what's expected of you is that everything that we hit in the meeting rooms, that all gets hit in the meeting rooms. You got to be able to retain that information, go to practice and apply it right now because we only have 3 or 4 days until we're about to go and play this game. So I think a bye week kind of allows you to, like I said, strip down all those things down to a base level and kind of reset the standard of how you do things.
Yeah, I agree with Jason. I mean, tackling, I think, is the number one thing we want to try to work on. But also, things just like cleaning up the penalties. I know that's not it. That's just something that I believe the coaches will stress and really hone in on as they go through this bye week. Because those are, I don't want to say it's simple, but those are things that we can really fix immediately just from a
Yeah.
mental standpoint. It's just, staying on top of that. And then offensive wise, look at the West Virginia game. Trey Wallace, I think, got 8 or 9 targets, and there wasn't a lot of distribution of the ball beyond Trey Wallace in the first game. Then the second game, Tyler Warren got 8 or 9 targets, and there wasn't a lot of distribution amongst other targets throughout the game. So maybe seeing how they can get the ball distributed more amongst the various pass catchers as they go into these upcoming weeks, because when you get to the meat of the schedule, these teams are going to be able to take away your top target. So you're going to have
Yeah.
to be able to, Drew's going to have to be able to, go to his second, third, fourth option to be able to make plays. So I'm sure they'll work on it, and I'm sure that's something they're currently working on as they go through the bye week.
Yeah. And also just a time to go through like procedural stuff. It can be procedural from a standpoint of going through specific situations. Let's say 10 seconds left on the clock, you're on the 40-yard line, you need a chunk play, but it needs to go out of bounds. Okay, we're gonna demonstrate a quick 3-play series of how we want that to look before we get to a field goal. It could be a procedure standpoint of, okay, we have 8 seconds left on the clock. We're gonna run the play. We're gonna go for the end zone. If we don't get it, now we called it when we we're at Penn State, we called it bonsai. But bonsai is when you're rushing the field goal unit onto the field very, very fast. And that's a procedural thing that can land in a penalty if it's not done fast enough and not done with the sense of urgency that it needs to be done with. And those plays, although they aren't things that you practice all the time or every single day, they are things that at the end of games, when they are called upon and they are needed, they can be the difference between winning and losing a game. So I think retouching on all the procedural things from that standpoint, whether it's substitutions defensively going from base to nickel, nickel to dime, or from special teams going from safe look on defense, saying who stays in on safe. Okay, returner comes in. All right, one safety's out. All right, which safety's the guy who's going to be leaving? Things of that nature, so you don't have 12 men on the field, and that kind of contributes to cleaning up penalties and just cleaning up things overall.